Alright, so I'm just gonna make this YouTube video and just clear the rumors between a box truck or a cargo van and what should I get, you know what I'm saying? I had both a box truck and I had both a cargo van, so I got a little bit of experience with both, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say this. The box truck is a higher startup cost compared to a cargo van, but it's more money than the cargo van. The cargo van is a less startup cost, but it's less. I wouldn't say it's less of money, but it's more inconsistent with the load pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might have a good day and a bad day, a slow day, a good day. There's more consistent freight with the box truck compared to a cargo van. You're gonna see a lot of box truck loads because majority of the loads on the load board are for Majority of the loads on the load boards is for semi trucks, and if they don't want to put on the semi truck, they're gonna put on the box truck. So there's more consistency with box truck loads compared to a cargo van, right? Now, on the DAT load board, majority of the loads is gonna be semi trucks, box trucks. You're not gonna see that on the load board for Sprinter vans. There's not much. You gotta like look around and look at other load boards and look at other sites and other apps and to find loads with the Sprinter van. So it's not as consistent as compared to a box truck, but it's there. It's there. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just say that's the number one thing. You know what I'm saying? There's more. It's a higher startup cost with the box truck compared to a cargo van. It's a less startup cost, but the box truck has more consistent freight compared to a Sprinter van. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna just say it like that. I don't know why my phone keeps on tilting that way, but that's the first thing. Higher startup cost with a box truck, but it is more consistent freight. You know what I'm saying? Sprinter van, less startup cost, but very much inconsistent freight. And I'll say this: if you got money stacked up, like you got a good 10 bands stacked up, a good 9 bands stacked up, a good 8 bands stacked up, and you got decent credit, I would say, in my opinion, go with the box truck, just because you're gonna make consistent money, consistent cash flow with the box truck than compared to a cargo van, where you're gonna try to figure things out. It's gonna be slow. It's gonna be days where you're sitting down. It's not, the box truck has more of an advantage in terms of like consistent cash flow coming in every time. You know what I'm saying? With a Sprinter van, you gotta move around. You gotta look at. You gotta figure shit out. You gotta look at apps. You gotta look at websites. You gotta look at brokers. You gotta deal with these third-party carriers. Like, it's not consistent with the cash flow. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, let me say it like this: when you get your box truck and you get your DOT and your MC authority, which you're gonna have to do from the get-go. You know what I'm saying? Brokers are going to work with you like this from day one. It's going to be easier to get loads with a brand new MC and a brand new authority with a box truck than compared to a Sprinter van. With a Sprinter van with a brand new authority, it's a lot harder to get loads. It's a lot harder to get freight, to get, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to deal with a lot of third-party carriers, which you're going to have to go onto people that's going to lease their MC onto you. They're going to say, hey, you can work with us. You can borrow off our MC. The only thing about that is that they're going to take a crazy amount of cash flow from your money and have you, what they call bidding. They're going to have you bid low. So they're going to say, hey, we got a load from Utah to Texas. You know what I'm saying? And the broker might give it to this carrier that you're going to contract with for $1,500. And this carrier, because they're trying to make money too, it's not all about you. They want to make money also. They're going to have you bid low and have you give like a bidding system. They have this bidding system where they have you ask for lower rates, and they have you, it's called bidding low. And then that's how they make money off of you guys. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to give you a load they got it for $1,500. They might give it to you for $1,250 or for $1,000. And they might make $250 off of you or $500 off of you, depending on what carrier you go with. There's so many carriers, but it's a lot harder to get loads as a newer authority compared to a box truck. I'm just trying to say that, you know what I'm saying? Like with a Sprinter van, you have to work with these third parties. You're gonna have to use apps. You're gonna have to use other load board websites. You're gonna have to figure shit out. It's a lot harder with a Sprinter van compared to a box truck. A box truck is a lot easier and smoother. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the number 2. I would say it's a lot harder getting loads with a Sprinter van than compared to a box truck. It's a lot easier. So that's my number 2 right there. My number 3, you know what I'm saying? Comparing a box truck or a car van, what do you really want to go with? Should I go with a box truck or a car van? The box truck is a lot more regulated. You got to go through wait stations. You got to use the ELDs, electronic logging devices. You got to, there's certain roads you can't go on. There's a lot of restricted roads. You can't go on certain roads with your box truck. What else? You got to pay for parking with a box truck. Certain truck stops to pay for, they make you pay $25 for parking at at Love's Pilot at the travel center. Or if you want to go on vacation and park your car somewhere, they're going to make you pay a crazy fee, a crazy fine, you know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to, pay a fine and then shit. Like, for me, for example, when I had my box truck in 2022, you know what I'm saying, I had to pay, there'll be some days where I'll work for a whole month and then I would take like a 2-3 weeks vacation off. Because I made a lot of money. And the guy that I used to park my truck at, he had me pay $300 every month just to park my box truck. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to deal with the like that. Now, with a Sprinter van, it's not like that. With a Sprinter van, it's a lot less. It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? My phone keep on acting crazy. But, with a Sprinter van, there's no restrictions. You know what I'm saying? God damn, just sit down, son. With a Sprinter van, I'll just do my phone like this. I don't know what the hell going on. But with a Sprinter van, there's no restrictions. You're not restricted on certain roads. You can use the Apple Maps or the Google Maps and use any road they take you. There's no restrictions. There's no electronic logging devices we got to use. We don't use none of that. We're ELD exempt because we're under 10,000 pounds, so we don't use ELDs. You don't gotta pay for parking. I'm literally parked at I don't know if you guys see that. I'm parked at a Planet Fitness. I don't know if you can see that. I'm parked at a Planet Fitness right now, and I don't gotta pay for parking. You know what I'm saying? A lot of guys with their Sprinter vans, they just lock their Sprinter vans, take their showers at the Planet Fitness, and just get comfortable. A lot of people sleep in their vans, you know what I'm saying? I sleep in my van, I would say that. And just, you don't got to pay for parking. You're free. You can go anywhere. It's more flexible and comfortable, you know what I'm saying? There's not much restrictions. You don't got to pay for parking. You don't got to go through wait stations. You don't got to use ELDs. You don't got to, no restricted roads. Like, it's a lot more flexible and accessible, I'll say that, with a Sprinter van. Whereas the box truck is very much regulated and restricted. So that's another thing to consider with, the box truck or the cargo van. What do you want? What are you looking for? It all depends on what are you looking for. You know what I'm saying? What else? I'll say that's my number 3. Number 4, whether you want to go with a box truck or a cargo van, I'll say, the box truck is just more money in the box truck. You know what I'm saying? Because you have such a bigger vehicle and a bigger space, and you can put so much in that space. They're gonna pay a lot more. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see a consistent $2 rate, $1.5, $1.4, $1.3 rate with a box truck as compared to a Sprinter van. When you first start a Sprinter van, you're gonna have to work with third-party carriers, which are people that lease the MC onto you, and they give you loads and they take a fee from you, and they're gonna have you take rates for like 0.60 cents, 0.70 cents, 0.80 cents, 0.90 cents, $1. You're not gonna see rates like a box truck compared to a Sprinter van. Like, starting up a box truck, you're gonna see more $1.5, $1.4, $1.3 rates, $2 rates. With a Sprinter van, you're not seeing that. With a Sprinter van, especially because you're going to be working with a lot of third-party carriers most of the time, you're going to see 90 cents, 80 cents per mile, 90 cents per mile. If you see a and all that, like, they will do that to you for real. So you gotta be smart about that. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to drive far and have you get such a low pay cut and a low rate. You don't want that. So yeah, it's such a lower. It's a hassle and it's a struggle with the Sprinter van more than compared to the box truck. The box truck is a lot easier, bro. It's more restrictions and regulations on the box truck than the Sprinter van, but it makes sense on what it all depends on what you're trying to do. I had a box truck in 22, and it was good back in 2022 during COVID. Shit was easy, shit was smooth. I heard a lot has changed now, but you know, I'm not in the game for the box truck because I had to return my truck back. But I do have a cargo van, and with my cargo van, what I do is I started over the road I started January of 2026, and I did 3 months over the road, January, February, March, and April, making it 4 months. I did all over the road. I've been to Los Angeles, I've been to Houston, I've been to Dallas, I've been to Arizona, I've been to Florida. I've been literally everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And to me, over the road is not worth it because, one, it's a lot of mileage on your vehicle. The mileages are gonna rack up fast as hell. I got a brand new vehicle. I got it in January, and we're in May, and I'm already at 51,000 miles, you know what I'm saying, in May. And I stopped doing over the road just because of that, you know what I'm saying. The mileages rack up fast. You're spending majority of your spending and your money is going towards gas because you're running so much that you're going to be having so much on gas that you're going to be paying, you know what I'm saying. Now, I got a fuel card. I got a fuel card with Fuel Man. They gave me a $5,000 credit line limit, so I got $5,000 worth of credit for gas. So I just rack it up, then pay every 2 weeks. I pay whatever I gotta pay, and you know the line comes back, and I can just use gas stations and shit. But that's how I do it. But majority of my money goes towards gas, and then you're gonna want to, you know, if you can cook, you will be blessed and lucky because majority of your money besides gas is going towards food. I'm a big prime example or story of that because my first 3 weeks I made $7,500. I spent $7,300 on food, and that's how fast it added up. And I was just buying shit. I didn't really think twice or care. I was just buying shit because I just want to buy shit. I'm like, yeah, I'll be cool. I'm gonna make that money back anyways. I was just buying shit left and right, you know what I'm saying? Not thinking that, damn, I'm spending my profit crazy. So I had to wake up and back the up and be like, damn, bro, like, what the hell am I doing? You know what I'm saying? I spent majority of my profit my first 3 weeks in January. I made $7,500, spent $7,003, and I'm like, yeah, never again. So majority of over the road, your money's going towards food and gas and showers and other shit, you know what I'm saying, that you might want. So and the mileages add up fast. Over the road wasn't for it for me, you know what I'm saying. How I book my loads and get my loads, I use the DAT load board. What I would recommend is, as you're starting your LLC and this and that and all that, and you're looking for your van and your insurance, make sure to get your MC as soon as possible because it's going to help you in the meantime. You know what I'm saying? Because most brokers don't want to work with you if you have a cargo van unless you got 6 months of authority or 1 year authority. And the only way you're going to get that is have your MC age over time. So what you want to do is get your MC as soon as possible and then let it sit, which means you're not going to use it. You're just going to have it. You're just going to have time go by. It's going to age and get to 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months to a year. And then once it reaches to that year mark, you can stop booking loads on your own. But as it's doing that, you're using third-party carriers. Those are people that at least the MC to you for you to get loads, and they take a fee from you. You're going to have to work with a bunch of them and just deal with the that they're going to take some of your money. You're going to have to use gig apps to make money. There's a bunch of gig apps, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to use other load boards besides DAT load board. There's Selectus, there's Expedite load board, there's Load Network. There's a bunch of load, you know what I'm saying? There's a bunch. You're going to have to also save these brokers' names and numbers and contact them directly for loads. Because you're going to have to thug it out and figure shit out and figure out how to get loads through these methods I'm giving you, because it's going to come times where it's going to be slow. You're not going to be moving. You're not going to be running. You're going to have to figure shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody got to figure their shit out. I can't, you know what I'm saying, speak for you, but I figured a method that works for me, and I figured a place I could be at to make money. You know what I'm saying? It all depends where you're at. So that's another thing too. Like I said, it's more of a hassle with a Sprinter van. It's more of you trying to figure shit out, trying to make it work with a Sprinter van than a box truck. But when you find that method that works and it works, it's going to work. Like, I was able to find a place where I could stay local. I don't gotta go over the road no more. I don't gotta go regional. It's sort of regional local, but it's more local, and I can make $500, $600, $700, $800 a day. The most I made was $700 a day staying local. You know what I'm saying? And I figured out a method of me using gig apps and using the load board and using brokers all in one to make that type of money. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to figure shit out and figure how it works. But I was able to do that, and while I'm doing this, my MC is aging over time. With a box truck, I would say with a box truck, majority of your loads is coming from the load boards. With a box truck, I don't think you can use gig apps with a box truck. I don't know what gig apps there are. You're gonna have to save a lot of brokers' numbers and call them and email them and ask them if they got loads. You're gonna have to do that a lot, and it's just it's like a one-way ticket to get loads with a box truck. It's just look at the load board and see if it's there. If it's not there, you're gonna have to wait. If it's there, no. Whereas a Sprinter van, you can look at the load board, you can look at gig apps, you can look at other third-party sites. You could look at there's so many other ways with a Sprinter van than a box truck to make your money. You know what I'm saying? To make your money. So that's I don't know if that's number 4, number 5, or number 6. I don't know, but that's another thing. I'm just talking at this point. I'm going off the top, freestyling this shit from y'all, because I'm just giving you what I know and what I've been through and what I've experienced and what's going on in the game right now. So yeah, that's about it. And then if you got the bread and you got decent credit and you trying to figure it out and you got like 9K stacked up, 10K stacked up, 8K stacked up, I will go with the box truck. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just cause you're gonna see that money back and it's gonna be more consistent and you're gonna make a lot more bread. A Sprinter van, you're not. It's harder. It's a lot more hassle, and you're gonna have to fight hard to see what's gonna work. Like, I got tired of going over the road. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got tired of driving state to state. I done been everywhere. I kind of got tired of putting the mileage on my vehicle and driving far and having to drive for 10, 11 hours straight, sleep as hell. You know what I'm saying? Just driving this shit. I stay local now, and I figure what works for me with I use the apps, I use the DT load boards, I use brokers and their apps. A lot of brokers have their own apps that you can use to look on their apps for loads. And another thing what a lot of other brokers do is that they email you loads before they put on a load board. So they might email you, they have like a whole contact list, email this contact list, send all these loads on the email they have, and you on that email, you're going to see these loads, and then you can ask for it before it goes on the load board. So that's another thing. But yes, it. If I didn't have a lot of money and I want to hop in these type of businesses, I don't got a lot of bread and I don't got good credit, then I'll say the Sprinter van is your choice because it's such a lower startup cost and lower fee. And you can get in with like $3,000, man. All I had was $3,000, and I hopped in. I was able to get my van and my insurance and my fuel card, and I was able to run it up and figure it out. It's a lot harder on getting loads, but you can make shit work. There's so many other ways to make it work with a Sprinter van. You just gotta figure out what's gonna work for you and what is gonna work for the city that you're in. How busy is the city that you're in? So yeah, it depends on all that. But you know, if you're a hustler and you gonna grind through this shit no matter what, and you got money stacked up, I would say go with, you know what I'm saying? Go. You can do the cargo van, but it's gonna take a lot of work and dedication to have some money saved up for the months that get slow for you. Because if it gets slow, you want to have this backup money that you could use to help you through any flood that you're going. You could do the cargo van, but it's going to take a lot of work and dedication to have some money saved up for the months that get slow for you. Because if it gets slow, you want to have this backup money that you could use to help you through any flood that you're going through. Like, say you know you're short on your payments, or it's slow, you're not getting the money like that, or whatever. Then you got something saved up. That's what I'm saying. Make sure you have some bread saved up. But that's about it. I can't think of nothing else. But box truck, if you got the bread like that, go with the box truck. If you got the credit like that, go with the box truck. If you don't, go with the Sprinter van, go with the cargo van. Yeah, cargo van if you don't got it, and it's just a lot easier to do it. So it's really, what do you want to do? It depends, you know what I'm saying? So y'all let me know. Y'all let me know in the comments. Y'all let me know your talk to me. I don't give you guys my ideas, my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I like both, but for the flexibility, I like the cargo van. And that's why I chose it. But if I had the bread like that, and I didn't want to worry about flexibility and all the other restrictions and I'm going with the box truck. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. And y'all let me know. Y'all let me know how it is, and if I'm right or wrong, and let me know in the comments, and we'll go from there. That's all I have to say. See you in the next video.